My girlfriend admitted she cheated and said, "I needed a real man." She smirked while saying it. I thought the betrayal was over until my best friend took her side. What I discovered later changed everything, cost me friends, and taught me a brutal truth about loyalty and self-worth. This all started on a Thursday night. Ordinary, forgettable, or at least it should have been. She was sitting on the couch, scrolling on her phone, legs tucked under her like she always did. I was in the kitchen, reheating leftovers we'd planned to eat together. She hadn't touched her phone all day, barely spoke to me. I should have known then. "Hey," I said, trying to sound normal. "You okay?" She didn't look up, just nodded. Something about that nod felt rehearsed. We'd been together for 3 years. 3 years of inside jokes, shared rent, late-night drives, and talking about one day, like it was a destination we were slowly walking toward together. I wasn't perfect. I worked long hours. I wasn't flashy, but I was loyal. I showed up, or at least I thought that mattered. I sat next to her with my plate. She finally put her phone down and stared at the wall instead of me. "I need to tell you something," she said. Those 6 words hit harder than any scream ever could. My stomach dropped. Here it is, I thought. This is the part where everything changes. I tried to joke it off. "You're pregnant?" I laughed weakly. She didn't smile. "I cheated on you, just like that. Flat, clean, no hesitation." The room went quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator. My fork clattered against the plate because my hand started shaking without my permission. I stared at her, waiting for tears, waiting for regret. None came. "Was it once?" I asked. My voice didn't sound like mine. She sighed, annoyed, like I'd asked a stupid question. "I don't know. A few times." "A few." I swallowed. My chest felt tight, like someone had wrapped tape around my ribs and kept pulling. "Who?" I asked. She leaned back, crossed her arms. This was when she finally looked at me. "You don't know him." That should have been comforting. It wasn't. I stood up, started pacing. My brain was racing, trying to grab onto something solid, but everything felt slippery. "Why?" I asked. "Was I not enough? Did I?" She cut me off. "I needed a real man," she said. Then she smirked. That smirk will haunt me forever. I froze. A real man. I replayed those words over and over like a broken record. My ears rang. "What does that even mean?" I asked. She shrugged. "Someone confident. Someone who doesn't need reassurance all the time. Someone who takes charge." I laughed. I couldn't help it. It came out sharp and ugly. "I paid our bills. I supported you through college. I was there every time you cried." She rolled her eyes. "That's bare minimum stuff. Bare minimum." I realized then that this conversation wasn't about closure. It was about her winning. I grabbed my keys and walked out before I said something I couldn't take back. The night air felt cold and unreal, like I'd stepped into someone else's life. I sat in my car for almost an hour, staring at my phone. My hands hovered over her contact, then dropped. Instead, I texted my group chat. The same friends we'd both had since college. The ones who'd watched our relationship grow. "Hey, I think she cheated on me." The replies came fast, but not the ones I expected. "She told us already." My heart sank. Another message popped up. "Man, maybe you should listen to her side." Then another. "You kinda did neglect her lately." Neglect. I stared at the screen, my chest burning. I hadn't even told my side yet, and they'd already chosen hers. I drove to my best friend Mark's place, or at least, the guy I thought was my best friend. He opened the door, eyes awkwardly avoiding mine. "She's here, isn't she?" I asked. He hesitated. That was answer enough. "She needed support," he said quietly. "She was really upset." I laughed again. That hollow, broken laugh. "So am I." He sighed. "Look, man, she said you checked out months ago, that she felt lonely." I stared at him. "Did she mention cheating?" He shifted. "She said it just happened. It just happened." I walked away without another word. Over the next few days, the story spread. But not the truth. Her version. I was cold, emotionally unavailable, too passive, not ambitious enough, not man enough. People I trusted stopped replying to my messages. Some unfollowed me entirely. Others sent vague advice like, "Use this as a growth moment." I barely slept. When I did, I dreamed of that smirk. One night, I finally went back to the apartment to grab my things. She wasn't there, but her laptop was open on the table. I wasn't snooping. I swear. It was just there. Notifications popping up. One name kept appearing. Mark. My hands went numb. No way. I clicked. And that's when everything finally made sense. I shouldn't have kept reading. That's what I told myself as my fingers hovered over the trackpad. That I should close the laptop, walk away, keep at least a shred of dignity. But curiosity isn't the right word. It was dread, the kind that crawls up your spine and whispers, "You already know. You just don't want to admit it." I clicked. The messages loaded slowly, like they were taking their time just to hurt me more. Her name. His name. Weeks. Months. Late-night texts. Inside jokes that weren't ours. Complaints about me. Screenshots of our arguments. Her venting. Him validating. Him stepping in where I didn't even know there was a gap. "I just feel so safe with you," she'd written. He replied, "You deserve someone who sees you." My vision blurred. I scrolled. "I don't think he's a real man anymore." There it was again. That phrase. Typed this time. Casual. Cruel. Mark replied with a laughing emoji. My best friend. The guy who stood next to me at my dad's funeral. The guy who toasted us at our anniversary dinner. I felt something strange then. Not sadness. Clarity. So this is what betrayal actually feels like, I thought. Not explosive. Just empty. I closed the laptop and sat on the floor. The apartment felt foreign. Like I was trespassing in a life that wasn't mine anymore. I packed quietly. Clothes. Books. A few framed photos I couldn't bring myself to look at. As I was zipping my bag, my phone buzzed. Her name. I let it ring. Then another buzz. A text. "Can we talk?" I stared at the screen for a long time before typing back. "I know about you and Mark." 3 dots appeared instantly, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, it wasn't like that. I laughed out loud. Alone, surrounded by boxes of a life I thought was solid. I didn't reply. Instead, I blocked her. Blocked Mark too. Not out of anger, out of self-respect. Or at least, what little I had left. The next few weeks were brutal. I crashed on my brother's couch, went to work like a ghost, smiled when people talked to me, nodded when they gave unsolicited advice. Time heals everything. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. I wanted to scream. What hurt the most wasn't just losing her. It was losing my circle. Group dinners stopped. Weekend plans vanished. People I thought knew me believed a version of me that painted her as the victim and me as the villain. I checked social media less. When I did, I regretted it. Photos of them started popping up. Her and Mark, casual, unapologetic, smiling like nothing had been destroyed in the process. One caption read, "Sometimes love finds you when you least expect it." I threw my phone across the room. But slowly, something changed. One night, while lying on that uncomfortable couch, staring at the ceiling, I asked myself a question I'd been avoiding. Why did I let them define me? I replayed every insult, every dismissal, every moment I shrank myself to keep the peace. I wasn't weak. I was accommodating. I wasn't passive. I was patient. And patience, I realized, looks like weakness to people who only value power. That realization didn't heal me overnight, but it did something important. It gave me my footing back. I started going to the gym again, not to prove anything, just to burn off the anger that had nowhere else to go. I reconnected with old friends, the ones who didn't pick sides, the ones who listened instead of judged. I stopped checking their profiles, and that's when karma did what karma always does. Quietly, methodically, about 3 months later, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. "Hey, it's May." I knew immediately. I didn't respond. Another message came through. "Mark cheated on me." I stared at the screen. No satisfaction, no joy, just a deep, tired sigh. She kept typing. "He said I was too needy. He said he felt trapped. He said he needed space." The irony was almost poetic. She ended with, "I didn't realize what I had until it was gone." I typed one sentence. "You taught me the same lesson." Then I blocked the number. A week later, Mark tried reaching out through a mutual friend. Apparently, things fell apart fast. Trust issues, jealousy, accusations. Funny how that works. I didn't meet him. I didn't need closure from him. I already had it. The real turning point came one evening when I caught my reflection in a store window. I looked different. Tired, yes, but grounded. For the first time in months, I smiled. Not because I was happy, but because I was free. Free from trying to be enough for people who were never satisfied. Free from friends who confused loyalty with convenience. Free from a relationship that made me question my worth. Sometimes betrayal doesn't ruin you. It reveals you. I thought that was the end of it, that the story would fade into something I'd occasionally remember on bad days. A chapter I'd closed, boxed up, and shoved to the back of my mind. I was wrong, because life has a strange way of testing whether you've actually healed or just learned how to stay quiet about the pain. About 6 months after everything fell apart, I ran into her again. Not intentionally, not dramatically, just the universe being cruelly efficient. I was at a grocery store near my new apartment. Different part of town, different routine, different version of me. I had headphones in, mind elsewhere, when I felt a tap on my arm. I turned, and there she was. She looked smaller, not physically, emotionally, like someone who had been carrying disappointment for a while and was tired of pretending it didn't weigh anything. "Hey," she said softly. I pulled one earbud out. My heart didn't race. That surprised me. "Hey," I replied. There was an awkward pause, the kind that's filled with everything you didn't say and everything you probably never will. "You look good," she said. "So did you. Once," I thought. "Thanks," I said instead. She shifted her weight, fidgeted with the strap of her bag. The confident woman who smirked at me months ago was gone. This version looked unsure. "Careful. I heard you moved," she said. "Yeah." Another pause. I just wanted to say, "I'm sorry," for how I handled things, for what I said. There it was, the apology I once begged the universe for, and it landed with a dull thud. I nodded. "Okay." She blinked. "That's it?" I shrugged. "What do you want me to say?" Her eyes glistened. "I hurt you." "Yes," I said. Calm. Honest. "You did." She looked like she wanted me to yell, to lash out, to give her something dramatic she could react to. I didn't. "I thought about you a lot," she said. After everything, I believed her. "That didn't change anything." "I hope you're happy," she added. I looked at her for a second longer than necessary, not to intimidate, to be sure. "I am," I said. And this time, I meant it. I put my earbud back in and walked away. My hands didn't shake. My chest didn't ache. That was when I knew. Later that night, I sat alone in my apartment. Quiet, peaceful, no tension humming in the background, no walking on eggshells. I thought about the man I was when she said those words to me. I needed a real man. Back then, I thought being a real man meant proving something, being louder, stronger, less emotional. Now I know better. Being a real man meant walking away when respect was gone. It meant choosing self-worth over familiarity. It meant letting people believe whatever story helped them sleep at night, and still moving forward. I lost a girlfriend. I lost friends. But I gained something far more valuable. Clarity. I learned that loyalty reveals itself when things get uncomfortable. That love without respect is just control in disguise. And that sometimes, the people who leave your life aren't losses, they're lessons. These days, I don't talk about her much, or Mark, or that chapter, not because it still hurts, but because it doesn't define me anymore. If anything, it sharpened me, taught me to listen to my instincts, taught me that silence can be strength, and taught me that sometimes closure isn't peace, it's distance. I didn't lose her that day. I found myself.